What's up guys, Mike here, and today we have some big time news. Because according to Henry Abbott, a man who worked for ESPN for over 10 years and is now the CEO of TrueHoop.com, Abbott tweeted out, source, Blazers star Damian Lillard to request trade in the days to come. If this is a surprise, you haven't been paying attention. And to me, this feels like that meme from The Office. Oh my god, it's happening, everybody stay calm, everybody stay calm. Because if and now when Damian Lillard is traded, that is going to shake the entire NBA. And what I mean by that is this trade could potentially decide the winner of the 2002 NBA championship. So towards the end of this video, we are going to get into what I think are the best and most likely trade destinations for Dame. For now though, if you are a non-believer, let's talk about why Dame would possibly want to leave. Now, up until this offseason, Dame has said he's wanted to stay in Portland. He said he's wanted to remain loyal to the city and be one of those guys that always stays on the same team. The thing is though, Dame has spent 9 seasons with the Trailblazers. In those 9 seasons, have they consistently made the playoffs? Yes, but they've never made the NBA Finals, and they've only made the Western Conference Finals once, which happened back in 2019, where they were swept by the Golden State Warriors. So already it's understandable if you're Dame that you want to win. You want to win a championship or 2 or 3, because at the end of the day, you see with Chris Paul, championships matter a lot. Sure, that might not be fully fair because a lot of times a player is not in control of his career, but that's just a fact. And at this point in time, it really does seem like Damian Lillard is just getting fed up with losing, especially this season. Because if you don't remember, 6 weeks ago after losing to the Denver Nuggets, Dame posted an Instagram where he had the caption, "How long should I stay dedicated? How long till opportunity meet preparation?" Which is pretty telling right there. How long should I stay dedicated to the Portland Trailblazers? And really, who can blame Dame? If we're just being honest here, the Portland Trailblazers lost to the Denver Nuggets without Jamal Murray, who is arguably either their second or third best player. And then the Denver Nuggets would go to the second round where they got swept by the Phoenix Suns. That means the Blazers lost to a team that wasn't fully healthy, and they also lost to a team that got swept in the second round, which means Portland is not close to contending right now. Also, as the Nuggets were getting swept by the Suns, Dame tweeted out, "Shaking my head," obviously in reference to the fact that the team that just beat them was getting swept. And if we're looking at Portland's roster, they don't have the young talent or assets to really make a move to help Dame, which means if Dame really does want to win a championship, he has to get out of Portland. It's the sad truth. And under the discussion of Henry Abbott's tweet, as you could see, the #1 comment is, "I want to say this is BS, but I really don't know anymore with this organization. It genuinely wouldn't even surprise me at this point if this was real." Then comment #2 states, "After how this franchise has been managed recently, this is totally understandable." And the first reply to that is, "If my bosses did this, I would not work for them anymore." And wait just a second guys, before we continue, I've been saying at 1.7 million subscribers, I'm giving away a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to someone who is subscribed with my post notifications on. We are only 5,000 subscribers away right now. So if you want to win a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn on post notifications, because I am going to ask for proof when I pick a winner. Also, if you could like this video, that would be so awesome. It helps out a ton with YouTube's algorithm. And also tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, I am posting what if Kobe Bryant went to college. Set a reminder in your phone, be ready for that, because it's going to be awesome, trust me. Now let's get back to the video. So it seems like Blazers fans are actually giving Dame their blessing here, which I think makes a lot of sense. He's done a ton for Portland. He's always been repping that city. If I was a Blazers fan, I would just be happy for Dame to play on a winning team. Also, if you're wondering what they're talking about, it goes more than just the team makeup here, because when it was announced that the Blazers plan to hire Chauncey Billups as their head coach, a man who in the past has had SA allegations, and people certainly brought that up and Portland faced serious backlash from that hiring, Dame himself also faced a lot of backlash. Because as you can see on Twitter, someone named Sam said, "This is on Dame, IMO. They were always going to hire exactly who he wanted, and he wanted Billups or Kidd. They put out names like Becky Hammon and Mike D'Antoni to cool off some of the backlash and hired the guy who they were always going to hire." Dame replied with, "Really? I was asked what coaches I like the names I heard, and I named them. Sorry I wasn't aware of their history. I didn't read the news when I was 7 to 8 years old. I don't support those things, but if this is the route y'all want to come at me, say less." This backlash that Dame has faced has certainly played a factor in him potentially leaving. In fact, Chris Haynes from Yahoo Sports reported this on June 27th. He said, "The enormous backlash from the Portland Trailblazers process to hire a new coach and his concerns on whether a championship contender can be built have become factors that may push the franchise player, Damian Lillard, out the door star, league sources told Yahoo Sports. Dame also said sometimes it's not the people who change, it's the mask that falls off, which of course was a reference to all of his haters, some of which were Portland Trailblazers fans, and I think he really felt betrayed. So that is why I really think Dame will end up requesting a trade here. As for his impact on the court, honestly, the man has never been better. Here's why I think Dame really has the chance to swing a championship next year, and here's why if I'm a team that's close to a championship, I'm going all in for him. Just this last postseason against the Denver Nuggets, Dame averaged 34.3 points, 10.2 assists, and 4.3 rebounds per game while shooting 46% from the field and 45% from three. The man was absolutely insane. He really did all he could do. In game 3, when the Blazers lost by 5 to the Nuggets, Dame put up 37 and 5 on 15 of 31 shooting. Then in game 5, another close loss. This one was by 7, and if they just win these 2 games, if some of the other guys step up on their team, we might not be having this conversation. But in game 5, Dame put up 55 points on 17 of 24 shooting, which included shooting 12 from 17 from 3, and he also had 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks. What more do you want from him? Oh, and did I mention, with 3 seconds left, Dame hit a game-tying three-pointer. He was actually so great that, to put this into perspective, only 3 players in NBA history have ever averaged 34 points and 10 assists in a single playoff run. Those guys are Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, and Russell Westbrook. Dame's numbers were actually so impressive, in fact, that if you lower the threshold here to 28 points and 8 assists per game in a single playoffs, still only 12 players in NBA history have done that. And the thing is, like I mentioned before, it seems like at this age, Dame is only getting better. In the last 2 seasons, between the ages of 29 and 30, Dame has averaged a combined 29.4 points per game and 7.8 assists per game. The only other players to average at least 29 points and 7 assists between 29 and 30 are James Harden and Allen Iverson. That's how good Dame has been. Steph Curry is not even on that list. So with all this said, let's talk about the teams that can acquire Dame, because again, this is going to be league changing, guys. Now, I'm going to go in backwards order in terms of the teams I think are least likely then to most likely. So the first up is a wild card here. I think the New Orleans Pelicans, if they do decide that Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson are not the fit that they want going into the future, can for sure get Dame. Because looking here, it appears that New Orleans will have around $15 million in cap space, and then they could offer Brandon Ingram, Jackson Hayes, Kyra Lewis, and if Portland also wants him, Lonzo Ball in a sign and trade. This would immediately set up an incredible duo. We would have Dame and Zion Williamson in a pick and roll. They would probably become the most dangerous 2-man game in basketball immediately. I'm not sure if the Pelicans are really going to move Brandon Ingram though, so let's talk about the New York Knicks. Now here, RJ Barrett would be the centerpiece of the trade. In terms of cap space, we don't even need to talk about salaries here. The Knicks only have $54.8 million committed for 2022. They have plenty of space. So the Knicks would be able to offer RJ, Emmanuel Quickley, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Kevin Knox, whatever it takes to get Dame. Now, no offense, Knicks fans, I don't see this happening because unless the Knicks are able to somehow get another star on top of Julius Randle, I don't see how Dame's situation in New York would be any better than his situation in Portland. And if Dame does request a trade, I think Portland will trade him to a contender because I think they're going to do right by him because of the loyalty he's shown the city. Which brings us to our final 2 teams here. And really the difference between these trades is, what does Portland want? Because if Portland plans to keep CJ McCollum, then maybe they go for Ben Simmons with the Philadelphia 76ers. In this trade, we'd have Ben, Tyrese Maxey, and Thibault. Then I'm sure there would be more picks included. Like I said, I don't really know if this makes sense for the Blazers. I think if they do move on from Dame, they're going to want to blow it up and rebuild. But if that's not the case, if they want to keep winning, then Ben Simmons is an all-star caliber player. He would team nicely with CJ McCollum, honestly. And with Portland, man, a Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid pick and roll combo, the 2-man game there would be insane. We're talking about 2 MVP candidates who would be on the same team, and if Philly can keep guys like Tobias Harris and Seth Curry, that team would be deadly. Honestly, I think they'd be right up there with the Brooklyn Nets. As for our final team, you probably have guessed, we've got the Golden State Warriors. Now, of course, Damian Lillard and Steph Curry would struggle in the backcourt here, and you would be pushing Klay Thompson to small forward. However, if Portland is rebuilding here, this makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because in exchange for Dame, who's making $43.7 million next season, the Warriors would begin things with Andrew Wiggins, who makes about 31.6, and then the centerpiece of the trade would be James Wiseman, the #2 pick in last year's draft, who makes $9.1 million next season. That combined with a guy possibly like Jordan Poole, who makes 2.1 mil, added with picks number 7 and 14, would, in my opinion, get the Warriors Damian Lillard. They might actually have to give up less than that. It's possible. It depends on the trade market here. It depends on what other teams are offering. But man, if we have Dame and Steph Curry in the same backcourt, who could possibly guard them? Who could possibly stop them? This duo would just be unstoppable together on offense, and I know. I said it before, this would be rough on defense. However, if Klay is healthy, if he comes back to at least 80 to 90% of his former form, you have a great defender in Klay, you have a great defender in Draymond, and this isn't a situation where with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were concerned with taking LaMelo Ball because a LaMelo Ball, D'Angelo Russell backcourt would get lit up defensively. Is it possible that Dame and Steph Curry would get taken advantage of on the defensive end? Sure. However, unlike LaMelo and D'Angelo Russell, Dame and Steph Curry are not only MVP candidates, they are two of the best scoring point guards we have ever seen, as well as two guys that can shoot from absolutely unlimited range. With that said, guys, I am done. Let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think Dame's leaving? And remember, subscribe and turn on post notifications, because at 1.7 million subscribers, we're very close. We're about 5,000 subscribers away. I'm giving away a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to one of you who can prove they're subscribed and have post notifications on. Also, it'd be great if you could like the video. Again, that helps me out with YouTube's algorithm. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are two videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.